interestingly, something that's coming up more and more now as I listen to lectures and think and wonder of the things, the relationships that I've lost, why they were lost, what has happened. And this has happened to me too. I can remember as a younger boy, I had a relationship. I was around 21, beautiful woman, young girl herself, and I just got to a point where she hadn't done anything wrong. She wasn't any less attractive. She was doing all the right things. But I just got to a point where I just didn't want to be with her anymore, for one reason or another. And I can remember getting to the point where I went to the Anglican church and asked to see a minister. And the minister sat with me, the priest or whatever you want to call him, sat with me, and I just could not come to terms with myself. I couldn't reconcile what was going on inside me, but I was warring against my carnal nature, was warring against my spirit. And it was narcissism as described today. It was narcissism working in me against a relationship, doing everything it could to foil the relationship, and it did. And it damaged that girl for life, I think. Some people don't take breakups very well, and we don't look at it that way and we don't consider it that way, but it's true. And it's too late once you've left someone or pushed them to the side. I think it had something to do, on a deeper level, it had something to do with the father was just a difficult man to get along with. Very moody, unhappy type of a man. And I just had enough of it. I didn't want to be around that anymore. And I guess in some ways we try and pay back these relatives that we've had enough of by splitting up with these people that are related to them. And it's not the right thing to do. Many of you have lost relationships because of the attitudes of family members that you've been in the relationship, of the person that you've been in the relationship with. You've just gone, I don't want to hang around this lot anymore. They're too difficult. They're too surly. They're too hard to get along with, and they make up stories and lies, and they whinge and whine about who you are and what you're doing, and they miss the whole gist of the fact that you're in a relationship and bringing benefit, hopefully bringing benefit to the person that you're with. And some of you haven't done that. Some of you, we've all done this. We've all been negligent in our relationships, but it's a matter of whether we've learnt or not from what we've done. And when you get with somebody that hasn't learnt, that hasn't learnt from what they've done to people, and they just stay in that cycle that vicious cycle of abuse, then that person hasn't come to understand the capabilities of their sinful nature. Because the sinful nature wants to work against everything good that we try and do. That's what it does. And we cause pain and harm. We cause tremendous stress and often irreversible damage to people's mental health. That's why it's important that we need to grow on a daily basis. We can't just go around blaming everybody else for the things that have happened or not happened to us or for us by way of relationship. Our personal development, our personal growth, the way in which we act in life and perceive others and behave with others is really important. The matters of resolve are really important. It's not a game. It's just not a game. We need to grow day by day. We need to have strategies to fix things that are going to come at our personal relationships, because they're going to. We need to fix those things fast. Is it legit? Is it not legit? Is this just somebody interfering? Is this me just interfering in my own We can interfere in our own relationships. Sometimes we don't want to listen to the cries for help from the other person who's asking us just to change a couple of little things to make things better. We don't listen. We persist. We persist in behavior patterns that are contrary to what we presented when we started the relationship. And this can be described as narcissism, but it's not necessarily. It's probably our sinful nature working against us to destroy the good things that we have in our lives. The things that we knew were good when we met these people and are good after meeting them. Some people disintegrate. You can't change that. We disintegrate. In a lot of cases, they can't change that because our capabilities of resolve aren't what they should be. We take things for granted that we know we're on top of. We know we have a bond with. We take these things for granted and we shouldn't. We most absolutely shouldn't, but we do. And in the Bible, in the Psalms, you read the Psalms and it's saying, my accusers are coming up against me. Help me, Lord. My enemies are standing against me. And these are people that are interfering and trying to bring down the good things in our lives. Help me, Lord. Lord, I cry out to you for my help. Who do you cry out to for help? Do you just lay there alone? What do you do? Many of you turn to your children. They haven't even got to a point in their lives where they can develop and manage their problems within themselves, let alone interpersonal relationships, and you're abusing your children and yourself. You're just not moving forward. You're going around in circles. You need to know your maker. You need to be able to understand that there's things, that there's opponents in the spiritual realm and physical realm that are covertly working against you. You don't even know what some of these people are doing behind your back. If you were just a fly on the wall, and a lot of these people don't understand the combative spiritual realm that is continually trying to program them against the things that they care about and run them against the things that matter. And I've had this. How do you think I know? I've worked against partners that I've had that I've loved and appreciated and didn't even know why I've worked against them. It was a spiritual, combative spiritual, interfering, tormenting spirit that was pulling down my love for the person that I had. And I fell for it. And I ruined relationships. And these people were willing to have a relationship. They wanted to have a relationship. And I ruined it. I ruined it. But I learned from that. I wondered, what is this evil that is causing me to ruin wonderful opportunities to have great relationships in life? Some of you are in relationships and you just go wandering away. You just go wandering off. The person doesn't know where you are, what you're doing. You just wander off all the time for hours, days, weeks, and you think that's okay, but it's not. You've got a nomadic spirit, dark spirit, causing you to wander off, leading you away. You're being led away by the wrong spirit. Many of you have spirits of lust. You're in a great relationship, you're getting all the love and attention and intimacy that you need, and there's a tormenting spirit telling you it's not enough, or your carnal nature is working against you to tell you that's not enough. You go and have an affair, you end up with nobody, and you break somebody's mind. Many of you have a spirit that's convinced you that your mind is not enough. You need to add to your mind. You need to give something to your mind to make it right, and you've been deceived. And now you're dependent on drugs and chemicals and things like this, but it was all deception. It was a destroying spirit. Good boy. It was a destroying spirit that come to work against you, come to ruin your mind. The battlefield's in the mind. The dark spirits know that if they can destroy your mind, then they pretty well can take you out from there. And they will. And you've given in to that. You haven't been aware that there was something inside you, your carnal nature, and then put the, give me that back. No. He's taken off with me thong. Thinks he's smart now. Look at him, prancing around. And the evil spirits have worked in conjunction with your sinful nature, your old man, the Adamic nature. Sorry about the background noise. Your Adamic nature, to ruin you and to make you ruin yourself. People don't realize this. A lot of your attraction and needs and addictions aren't from you needing a lot of it. You become acquainted with and given way to spirits working against the spirit of your mind. They've convinced you that you need assistance just to have peace. But all these realms are neglected now in the battle for good life. People just believe that they're at the mercy of whatever's going on in their mind, but they haven't had the resilience and fortitude and discernment to understand that there's a strong possibility that there's other influences working against them. And you need to identify that you have a carnal nature and there's evil spirits that will use that nature to work against you. You'll find it in Romans chapter 7 of the Holy Bible and beyond.